The gym was loud. The smell of sweat and leather filled the air. Bright lights shone down on the boxing ring, making it look bigger, scarier, more alive. The crowd around the ring cheered and shouted. At the center of all this chaos stood Marcus the Hammer Hayes, the undefeated, arrogant boxer. He was tall, strong, and full of confidence. His fists looked like hammers, and his glare could freeze anyone in their tracks. Marcus loved the attention. Every time he flexed or raised his gloves, the crowd went wild. He taunted everyone around him, shouting insults and daring challengers. "Step up if you dare. I'll make you cry in front of everyone." His voice was loud, full of pride. He had beaten every opponent before, and he believed nobody could touch him. In the corner of the gym, away from the lights and crowd, a young black girl watched quietly. Her name was Maya. She wasn't big or muscular, and she didn't have the fame Marcus had. But her eyes were sharp, full of fire, full of focus. She studied Marcus, the way he moved, the way he underestimated people. Most people ignored her, thinking she was just a girl too small to fight, too weak to matter. Marcus noticed her. He grinned, pointing at her. "Hey, little girl. Yeah, you think you can fight me? Step in the ring. Let's see what you got." The crowd laughed. Some people called out, "Don't waste your time. You'll get crushed." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Fear tickled the edges of her mind. But along with fear, there was something else. A small spark, a tiny voice saying, "You can do this." She took a deep breath. Her heart was pounding like a drum. She wanted to walk away, wanted to hide, but she couldn't. The eyes of the crowd, the mocking smile of Marcus, the laughter. Everything pushed her forward. Slowly, she walked toward the ring. Every step was heavy, every breath loud. The closer she got, the louder the crowd's whispers became. Is she serious? No way she can fight him. She's crazy if she steps in there. Marcus laughed even louder. Look at her. She's shaking. Ha! This is going to be easy. He raised his gloves, ready to humiliate her in front of everyone. Maya climbed the steps to the ring. Her hands were trembling, but she didn't show it. Her eyes locked on Marcus, and for a moment, the laughter faded. The world seemed to slow down. The lights, the crowd, the noise, all of it blurred. Inside her mind, Maya remembered everything that brought her here. The time she trained alone, the bruises she hid, the hours she spent punching bags while others slept. Nobody had believed in her. Nobody had thought she could fight. And now here she was, one step away from proving it, or failing in front of everyone. Marcus shook his head, mocking her again. "You? Fight me? Ha! Everyone watch closely. This is going to be funny." The crowd laughed, waiting for the show. But Maya didn't flinch. She raised her gloves slightly, her eyes steady. A quiet determination burned inside her. She was scared, but fear was no longer in control. The referee moved between them, signaling them to get ready. The crowd fell silent for a moment, waiting for the first punch. Maya's muscles tensed. Marcus flexed, smirking, confident in his victory. And then the bell rang. Maya took a deep breath. She wasn't sure what would happen next. Could she survive this fight? Could she shock the world? Or would she be humiliated? She clenched her fists, ready to step into the unknown. The tension in the gym was electric. Every eye was on her. And at that moment, everyone knew one thing. This fight was about to start, and nobody could guess what would happen next. The gym had gone quiet after the bell. Maya stood in the center of the ring, her small gloves raised, her body tense. Every eye in the crowd was on her. Some whispered, some laughed, some stared in disbelief. Marcus the Hammer, Hayes bounced on his feet. Cracking his knuckles, his face twisted into a mocking smile. He thought this would be easy, a spectacle to humiliate a girl who had no business in the ring. But Maya didn't move. Her heart pounded like a drum. Her breath came in short, sharp bursts. Fear danced along the edges of her mind, but determination held her in place. She had no choice now. Every step she took to the ring, every second she had trained in secret, led to this moment. Marcus shook his head, his voice loud and cruel. "Come on, little girl. Don't freeze. Show me what you got, if you dare. The crowd roared with laughter. Some called out, she's too scared. She can't fight him. But others, quieter voices, held their breath, sensing something they couldn't yet name. The referee moved closer, checking both fighters. Are you ready? He asked, his voice cutting through the tension. Marcus grinned. Ready? I've been ready all my life, he said. Then he looked at Maya, sneering. And you? Are you ready to be humiliated in front of everyone? Maya's eyes flickered. She wanted to run. She wanted to disappear. But she couldn't. The mocking laughter, the crowd's excitement, the pressure, all of it pushed her forward. She raised her gloves higher, her jaw tight, her body trembling slightly. The crowd's whispers became louder. The tension in the gym was so thick it felt like the air could snap. Marcus stepped closer, trying to intimidate her. You know, most girls your size would cry right now. But you look like you want to fight. Crazy, huh? His smirk widened. Fine, let's make this quick. I'll make it look easy. He lunged at her, a fast, practiced jab meant to intimidate. Maya barely moved back, her reflexes slower than his, but enough to avoid the full force. The crowd gasped. Marcus's eyes widened in surprise. He hadn't expected even a flicker of defense. Maya felt her heart racing, sweat dripping from her forehead. Her hands shook, but something inside her sparked. She realized something. Fear was real, but so was courage. She had trained for this. She had prepared herself. And now, even though she was smaller, even though she had no experience in front of a real crowd, she could fight. The crowd's laughter mixed with gasps. Some were still sure she would fail, but a few could see the fire in her eyes. Marcus's arrogance began to crack, his confidence faltering just slightly. He expected an easy win, a quick show. But Maya wasn't the same girl everyone thought she was. Marcus threw a powerful right hook, testing her. Maya ducked, almost instinctively. Her body moved faster than she thought possible. The crowd was stunned. She wasn't frozen. She wasn't weak. She was alive in the fight. The referee stepped back. Marcus looked at her with new expression. Surprise, maybe even worry. Huh, not bad, he muttered under his breath. But he quickly masked it with arrogance, raising his gloves again. All right, little girl, let's see what you really got. Maya took a deep breath. The world seemed to fade around her. The crowd, the lights, even Marcus. There was only the ring, only her and him, and the choice she had made to stand her ground. Every second felt like a lifetime. Every movement mattered. The bell rang again for the first real round. Maya tightened her gloves, ready for whatever came next. She didn't know if she could win, didn't know if she could survive the fight, but she knew one thing: she wouldn't let fear control her. And somewhere deep in her heart, a small, fierce thought burned. I will show them who I really am. The bell rang. The crowd's roar filled the gym, vibrating through the air like thunder. Maya and Marcus faced each other, the tension so thick it felt like it could snap. Marcus grinned, confident, bouncing lightly on his feet. Every move was calculated, every punch practiced. He had beaten every opponent before, and he was certain this little girl would be no different. Maya's heart raced. Her legs felt heavy. Her hands shook inside the gloves. But beneath the fear, a strange calm began to spread. She remembered all the hours she had spent training alone, the bruises on her knuckles, the sweat dripping from her brow in silence. This was the moment all that had led to. She couldn't fail, not yet, not here, not now. Marcus threw the first punch, a fast, sharp jab meant to scare and humiliate. Maya flinched, almost letting it hit her, but she ducked at the last moment. The crowd gasped. Marcus's eyebrows shot up. Did she just dodge that? The bell of shock echoed in Marcus's mind. He laughed, masking his surprise with arrogance. Not bad, but that was lucky, he sneered, moving faster, throwing a combination of hooks and jabs. Maya stumbled back, barely blocking some punches, letting others graze her. Pain shot through her arms, but she held her ground. Then something unexpected happened. Maya noticed Marcus's rhythm, predictable, almost mechanical. He left a small opening after each swing. She didn't hesitate. With a deep breath, she swung her left hand, connecting with Marcus's shoulder. The crowd erupted in surprise. Marcus blinked, stunned. Nobody had touched him like that before. Not even a little. Maya's confidence grew. Her hands felt lighter, her feet quicker. She dodged another punch and landed a small jab to the side. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make Marcus frown. The arrogance that had fueled him now wavered, just slightly. The crowd leaned forward, whispering among themselves. Is she serious? Can she actually fight him? Marcus lunged with more force, trying to overwhelm her. Maya ducked, weaved, and avoided a heavy hook, feeling the rush of adrenaline. Every time Marcus swung, she reacted, surprising herself. She realized she could keep up, at least for now. Fear was still there, but courage had taken the lead. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. Some cheered for Marcus, thinking he would win easily. Others began to cheer for Maya, sensing the shift in momentum. Every punch she dodged, every move she made them gasp. The underdog had become unpredictable. Marcus growled in frustration. He wasn't used to being tested like this. He had faced strong fighters before, but none like Maya, small, underestimated, yet relentless. He tried a high kick followed by a jab, hoping to catch her off guard. But Maya ducked and stepped aside, her reflexes sharper than he expected. The crowd erupted again. She's dodging him? Then came a moment no one saw coming. Marcus swung a heavy right hook, aiming for a knockout. Maya didn't have time to think. She just reacted. She ducked low, rolled under his arm, and tapped him on the back as she came up. It wasn't a powerful hit, but the timing was perfect. Marcus froze, his face a mask of disbelief. For the first time, he realized she wasn't just defending. She was daring to fight back. The bell rang, signaling the end of the first round. Maya's chest heaved, sweat dripping from her forehead, but her eyes burned with determination. Marcus stared at her, his jaw tight, his confidence shaken. The crowd was stunned. Nobody expected this. Not her, not him, not anyone. Maya stepped back, hands raised slightly, catching her breath. She knew the fight was far from over. Marcus was angry, and anger made him dangerous. But for the first time, she felt something incredible, hope. She had survived the first round, and she had surprised the world. And deep down, she knew this was only the beginning. The fight was about to get even harder, and everyone watching wondered, could she really defeat Marcus? The bell rang, signaling the start of the second round. The crowd's roar echoed like a wave crashing over the gym. Marcus the Hammer. Hayes wiped sweat from his brow, his eyes narrowing at Maya. The arrogance that had fueled him in the first round was fading. For the first time, he felt a hint of doubt. This girl, she's different. Maya's chest heaved. Her arms ached, her legs felt like lead, and sweat dripped down her face. But something had shifted inside her. She had survived Marcus's first attack. She had even surprised him. Fear was still there, yes, but it no longer ruled her. She had tasted the possibility of victory, and that taste fueled her. Marcus charged first, swinging a series of quick jabs, trying to overwhelm her. Maya blocked a few, but one punch grazed her cheek, leaving a sting. Pain shot through her, but she gritted her teeth and kept moving. She noticed something, a pattern. Marcus was powerful, but predictable. He relied on strength, not strategy. A memory flashed through Maya's mind. Hours of training in her small garage, shadowboxing for hours, learning to read opponents, learning to anticipate. She had studied fighters online, memorized their movements, practiced dodges, practiced counters. Now all of that came rushing back. Marcus lunged with a heavy right hook. Maya ducked, then stepped aside and jabbed him lightly in the ribs. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make him grunt. He swung again, but Maya slipped past his guard and landed a quick jab to his shoulder. The crowd gasped. Marcus froze for a split second. His eyes widened in surprise. How is she doing this? Maya's confidence grew with every small success. She dodged, weaved, and countered. She wasn't just defending anymore. She was fighting back. The arrogant boxer's smirk faltered, replaced with frustration. The crowd's reaction shifted too. Whispers turned to cheers. People who had doubted her before now watched in awe. Marcus, now angry, tried to regain control. He attacked harder, faster, throwing powerful combinations. Maya stumbled slightly, letting one punch graze her arm, but she remembered her training. Stay calm, stay focused. She blocked a hook, pivoted, and delivered a small but precise punch to his side. Marcus stumbled back. The gym fell silent for a moment, everyone trying to process what had just happened. For the first time, Marcus's arrogance began to crack completely. He had never faced an opponent who fought with intelligence rather than sheer strength. He adjusted his stance, trying to predict her next move, but Maya was already moving. She ducked a high swing, countered with a jab to his chest, then a quick uppercut. Each strike was small but perfectly timed. The crowd erupted. People shouted, "She's doing it! She's actually fighting back." Marcus roared in frustration, swinging wildly now, his attacks losing precision. Maya's small movements, quick reflexes, and growing confidence were pushing him off balance. The turning point had come. She was no longer the nervous girl in the ring. She was a fighter. Marcus swung a heavy punch in desperation. Maya ducked, rolled under his arm, and landed a solid jab to his side. Marcus stumbled, his face a mixture of shock and anger. He had underestimated her, and now the tide of the fight was turning. Maya's heart pounded with excitement. She could feel the power of every small move, every clever dodge, every counterattack. The bell rang again, ending the round. Maya stood, arms raised slightly, sweat pouring down her face, but her eyes burned with determination. Marcus glared at her, his pride wounded, his confidence shaken. The crowd cheered loudly for the underdog who had refused to be humiliated. Maya had survived the first real test, and she had gained the upper hand. The turning point was clear. She was no longer just surviving. She was fighting. And deep down, she knew something incredible was about to happen. Marcus may have been powerful, but Maya had something stronger now. Strategy, courage, and the will to win. Everyone watching felt it in that moment. The fight was no longer predictable. The arrogant boxer had met his match, and the unthinkable might just be about to happen. The gym buzzed with tension. The crowd's cheers and shouts had reached a fever pitch. Marcus the Hammer, haze wiped sweat from his forehead, his arrogance now tinged with anger and disbelief. He had faced strong opponents before, but none like Maya. The small, underestimated girl had survived the first rounds, dodged his strongest punches, and even landed blows that shook his confidence. Maya's chest heaved, but her eyes burned with focus. She was no longer just defending herself. She was taking control. Every move Marcus made now seemed predictable. Every swing he threw gave her an opening, and she was ready. Marcus lunged with a powerful right hook, hoping to intimidate her. Maya dodged effortlessly and countered with a jab to his ribs. The crowd gasped. Marcus blinked in shock. He had underestimated her. This isn't supposed to happen, he thought. The underdog, the girl he had mocked, was now fighting back, and fighting well. Maya's confidence grew with every hit she landed. She weaved between punches, rolled under hooks, and landed quick, precise jabs to his sides and shoulders. It wasn't about brute strength. It was about timing, agility, and courage. And the unthinkable was happening. Marcus was starting to lose his control. The arrogant boxer roared in frustration, swinging wildly now. He was used to winning easily, used to intimidating opponents with sheer power. But Maya didn't fear him. Every punch she blocked, every counter she delivered, chipped away at his confidence. She had become unpredictable, and unpredictability was Marcus's worst nightmare. Maya landed another clean punch to his shoulder. Marcus stumbled slightly. The crowd erupted in disbelief. Whispers filled the gym. She's actually beating him. How is she doing this? Marcus's face twisted with anger. He had never felt so challenged. Every ounce of his pride demanded that he strike back harder, faster, stronger. But the harder he tried, the more he left openings. Maya's breathing was steady now. The fear that had gripped her in the first round was gone, replaced by a strange, thrilling determination. She remembered the countless hours of secret training, the times people had laughed at her dream, the moments she believed she wasn't strong enough. And now, all of that had led her here. She wasn't just fighting Marcus. She was proving herself. Marcus swung again, this time a wide, desperate hook. Maya ducked low, rolled under his arm, and delivered a precise uppercut. The impact made Marcus stagger back. The crowd went silent for a heartbeat, then erupted into a roar of cheers and gasps. Marcus's face was red, not from exertion, but from shock. No one hits me like that, he thought. But Maya had. The energy in the gym had shifted completely. The arrogant boxer who once dominated everyone now appeared vulnerable, off balance, frustrated. And Maya, the girl no one expected, had the crowd on her side. Some shouted encouragements. Others stared in disbelief, unable to look away from what was unfolding. Marcus tried to regain his rhythm, to intimidate her, but Maya was always one step ahead. She dodged, countered, and struck with precision. Every move showed intelligence, courage, and skill. The unthinkable had happened. The underdog had become the one controlling the fight. Maya's eyes flicked toward Marcus. She could see the frustration building, the arrogance cracking. She felt a surge of adrenaline. Every move she made was now calculated to exploit his mistakes. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was dominating. And then came the moment everyone in the gym would remember. Marcus threw a risky, powerful swing, aiming to knock her out. Maya anticipated it perfectly. She ducked, rolled, and landed a clean, precise punch to his ribs. Marcus's body jerked. He stumbled. The crowd erupted in shock and awe. The unthinkable was complete. The arrogant boxer had been shaken, humiliated, and outmaneuvered by the girl he had tried to mock. Maya stood tall, her gloves raised, her chest heaving, but her eyes calm and focused. Marcus glared at her, his pride shattered, his confidence in ruins. And everyone watching knew one thing. The fight had changed forever. The underdog had become a real threat. The bell rang, signaling it around, but no one cared. All eyes were on Maya. The unthinkable had begun, and it was far from over. The gym had gone wild. The crowd was on its feet, voices shouting, hands waving, some clapping, some covering their mouths in disbelief. Marcus the Hammer, Hayes, once the undefeated, arrogant champion, now looked unsteady, frustrated, and desperate. Every punch he threw seemed slower, less precise. Every move Maya made now seemed smarter, sharper, and faster. Maya's arms ached, her legs were heavy, and sweat poured down her face. But her eyes blazed with determination. She had survived his power, avoided his strongest attacks, and had even made him stumble. For the first time, she felt a surge of true confidence. She wasn't just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for every moment she had been underestimated, every laugh at her expense, every person who doubted her strength. Marcus swung a heavy right hook, trying to regain control. Maya dodged and countered with a sharp jab to his ribs. The sound of the impact echoed through the gym. Marcus grunted, stepping back, his face tight with anger. He had faced fighters before, strong fighters, but none like Maya. She was small, underestimated, and yet terrifyingly precise. The crowd erupted. Some shouted, "Go, girl! You've got him!" Others stared wide-eyed, whispering, "How is she doing this?" It was the first time many had seen Marcus look vulnerable, his confidence slipping with every jab, every dodge, every counterattack. Maya's movements were fluid now. She danced around him, ducking under hooks, rolling with punches, and striking at just the right moment. Each small hit weakened Marcus, not physically, but mentally. His arrogance was crumbling, replaced with growing frustration. He was angry, yes, but also scared. The girl he thought he could humiliate was now controlling the pace of the fight. Marcus swung again, this time wildly, trying to overpower her. Maya stepped back, sidestepped, and landed a quick combination to his side. The crowd gasped. Marcus staggered, eyes wide, his confidence shattered. Maya's face was focused, calm, and determined, like she knew exactly what she was doing. The energy in the gym had completely shifted. The arrogant boxer who had once dominated everyone now appeared weak, off balance, and unsure. Maya, once thought to be nothing more than a timid underdog, had become the center of attention. People cheered for her with every successful strike, every clever move. They had seen courage turn into skill, and skill into control. Marcus tried to shake it off, swinging again, but his punches were sloppy, predictable. Maya ducked, countered, and landed a solid uppercut. Marcus stumbled, barely keeping his balance. The crowd went wild. Whispers turned into shouts. "She's amazing. She's actually winning. I can't believe this." Maya's heart pounded, but she remained focused. Every breath, every movement mattered. She had survived the first shock, gained control in the second round, and now she dominated. The fight was no longer just about survival. It was about proving herself, showing the world that she was strong, brave, and capable of more than anyone had ever imagined. Marcus's frustration boiled over. His movements grew reckless, more desperate. He tried a powerful swing, hoping to land a knockout punch, but Maya anticipated it. She ducked, rolled, and landed a sharp strike to his side. Marcus stumbled, his pride in ruins, his confidence completely shaken. He had never imagined this. The crowd's energy reached a peak. Some were cheering, some were screaming, and some couldn't believe their eyes. Maya had taken control, and the unthinkable was happening before them. The underdog was dominating the arrogant champion. Maya's arms were sore. Her body was exhausted, but her mind was sharper than ever. Every strike, every dodge, every movement was now instinctive. She had become a fighter in every sense, resilient, clever, and fearless. The bell rang, signaling the end of the round. The crowd erupted, chanting her name. Marcus stood, chest heaving, sweat dripping, face red with anger and disbelief. He had been humiliated not by brute force, but by intelligence, courage, and heart. Maya raised her gloves, chest heaving, eyes burning with determination. The crowd watched in amazement, knowing they had witnessed something unforgettable. The fight was far from over, but one thing was clear. The unthinkable had happened. The underdog had become a true contender. The gym was electric. Every eye was on the ring, every breath held tight, every heart pounding. Marcus the Hammer Hayes, once the undisputed, arrogant champion, now stood off balance, frustrated and shocked. Maya, the young girl nobody had expected, had survived, adapted, and now dominated the fight. The bell rang for the final round. Marcus's pride demanded a victory, but his confidence was gone. He swung wildly, trying to land a knockout punch, but Maya was ready. She ducked, rolled, and landed a precise jab to his ribs. Marcus stumbled. For the first time, he felt fear, the fear of losing, the fear of humiliation, the fear of underestimating someone like Maya. Maya's chest heaved, sweat pouring down her face, but her eyes burned with focus. She could hear the crowd shouting her name, could feel their energy, could sense the disbelief in Marcus's every move. She had trained in secret for moments like this, had fought alone against doubt, against fear, and against every person who had told her she wasn't strong enough. This was her moment. Marcus roared, swinging harder, faster, desperate to reclaim control. But his punches were sloppy now, predictable. Maya stepped back, weaved between his attacks, and countered with sharp, precise jabs. The crowd gasped at every hit. Marcus tried to strike again, but Maya anticipated it, sidestepped, and delivered a clean uppercut to his chest. Marcus staggered, almost falling, and the gym erupted in awe. The arrogance that had once defined him was gone. His pride was shattered. He realized too late that he had underestimated her. The girl he had mocked, tried to humiliate, and force in the ring had not only survived, she had outsmarted him, outmaneuvered him, and now she was on the verge of victory. Maya's heart raced. Every movement was instinctive now. She moved like she had been born in the ring, dodging, weaving, striking at just the right moment. Marcus swung a desperate, powerful hook. Maya ducked, rolled under his arm, and countered with sharp punch to his side. Marcus's knees buckled. The crowd gasped louder than ever. Whispers turned into shouts. She did it! She's going to win! Marcus's face was red with anger and disbelief. He tried to regain balance, tried to throw one last powerful swing, but Maya had already read him. With perfect timing, she delivered a final, precise uppercut. Marcus's body jerked. He stumbled, then fell to mat. The gym fell silent for a heartbeat, and then exploded into chaos. The underdog had defeated the undefeated. Maya stood in the center of the ring, chest heaving, gloves raised, tears mixing with sweat. The crowd erupted in applause, cheering, shouting, and chanting her name. Cameras flashed, capturing the moment that nobody would ever forget. Marcus lay on the mat, stunned, humiliated, and defeated. The arrogant boxer who had forced others to cower had finally met his match, and lost. Maya's eyes scanned the crowd. She saw the disbelief, the admiration, the respect, and for a moment, she let herself feel it all. The triumph, the courage, the power of standing up when everyone doubted you. She had fought not just to win a fight, but to prove that courage, intelligence, and determination could defeat arrogance and power. Marcus slowly rose to his feet, face red, pride shattered. He glared at Maya, a mix of anger and grudging respect in his eyes. He had underestimated her, and it had cost him everything. For the first time, he realized that victory was not always about strength, but about heart, skill, and the will to fight against all odds. Maya raised her gloves high, letting the crowd's cheers wash over her. She had done the unthinkable. She had faced the arrogant champion, survived, adapted, and emerged victorious. The underdog had triumphed. And somewhere deep inside, she knew this was only the beginning. People would remember this fight for years. The girl who nobody believed and had shown the world what it meant to be fearless. The unthinkable had happened, and nothing would ever be the same. The bell rang one final time. Maya lowered her gloves slightly, tears in her eyes, but a smile on her face. She had fought, she had conquered, and she had shown that courage and determination could defeat even the strongest opponent. The gym erupted once more, and in that moment, Maya's victory became a story that would never be forgotten.